my channel. I'm so excited to speak about the next topic today, which is this week's Torah portion, which speaks about living with truth, justice, and peace for human civilization. Before we go on straight into the topic, please make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and turn on the bell for post notification. I really appreciate people stopping by and watching my videos. I'm eagerly looking forward to make many more. Let's move on straight to the next topic, which speaks about God-given laws which regulate the conduct between man, his fellow man, and community life, which are basically the survival of human civilization. To the other nations, God gave the 7 Noahide laws to uphold. But to Israel, he revealed thousands of laws which deal with all the details concerning claims, damages, and disputes. Why was it that Israel was singled out? That they must study and fulfill all the details, whereas these were never revealed to the other nations. Israel, who is capable of attaining the highest of spiritual levels, are given many detailed laws to regulate each step of their lives. Some people might find it hard, the fact that these laws are in every single step of Israel's life. But, for example, when you have laws, how to be happy, when it's conducted in the truthful, justice, and peaceful manner, it brings an internal joy, a valuable joy. But when you have happiness that has no boundaries, that has no discipline, it's not treasured, it's not precious, it's a very unvaluable feeling. It doesn't bring that great satisfaction of happiness. God commanded Moshe to teach the laws in a clear fashion, and Moshe did so, that any disputes amongst them or any claim that a Jew might have against his fellow man should be settled by Torah law in a Jewish court, also known as the Beis Din, and not before a Gentile court. It is forbidden for a Jew to go to a non-Jewish court of law for a decision. This applies even if the laws pertaining to the case should be identical with Torah law. A Jew who consults a Gentile court thereby denies God and loses his share in the world to come because he undermines the authority of the Torah. There are numerous laws discussed, but we'll be only covering 2 at this time. We'll be going straight into it since it's part of our day-to-day lives until today. Just to backtrack a little bit, what we just mentioned, should the Jewish people have disputes amongst them, it should be settled by a Jewish court. And it's even forbidden for a Jew to take a Jew to a non-Jewish court. This is very clearly expressed in the Torah. Unfortunately, certain people follow this commandment and others do not. To elaborate more deeper, the reason why people do not follow this commandment is because when person A had an issue with person B refused to come to the Jewish court. And a lot of notices has been sent out to person B. Still, he's not coming. Why? What's his side of the story? In order to be part of the Jewish court, you must be God-fearing. It is hard to find God-fearing people today. So, person B figures, why do I have to listen to a regular person in the Jewish court when I can make the decision myself? Which brings the situation to another step. Since person B decided to make the decision himself, person A decides to bring person B to the Gentile court. And the civil law brings an end to the dispute since the law gets involved. Israel the Jewish nation, there always has to remain the main factor. What does God want? If you do what you want for your money, for your ego, for your power, automatically it's wrong. And consequences unfold by God Himself, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Are you willing to lose your connection with God for the fact of losing money and desecrating God's name? Or are you willing to sanctify God's name, lose that money or that situation, but you made sure not to lose your connection with God just because God said so? God's will and it's God's wish. It's tough and it's a test. Will you make it? Show God. Tell God He is in control of His world. It takes sometimes 20 years for a result that there was no justice whatsoever. But you do your part and fight to hold on tight to God. In continuation, we'll be moving on to one of the many laws discussed in more details. If a person injured another person and caused him damage in one or several of the following ways, he must make restitution. Number 1, nezek, causing physical injury. If a person caused the victim to lose or injure his eye, his hand, his foot, his teeth, or any other limb or organ, the Jewish court calculates how much money should be given. If a victim loses his hands, how is he going to make income? And thus the Jewish court judges the person who caused the damage accordingly. Number 2, tsar, causing pain. The person who did the damage is required to pay the victim of any physical pain caused by the accident. The amount of payment depends on the severity of the pain. How much more so today when people go through mental health? There's so much in that area that this is part of causing pain. Number 3, ripoy. The person who did the damage is responsible for doctor's fees and other medical expenses resulting from the damage that was done. Point number 4, sheves. If the person who did the damage caused the victim financial loss by preventing him from going to work, he must pay for it. Number 5, boshes. Even if a person insulted another verbally, or he had to be faced with a discomfort which caused him no actual physical harm but merely humiliated him, the matter is brought before the Jewish court. The judges estimate the amount of financial compensation which is due to the victim, the shame he has suffered. The person who has done this must pay the sum determined by the Jewish court. God goes further into details and explains to Moshe laws of making restitution for having caused damage by putting an obstacle on private property or caused by a fire, or an animal owner who has caused damage. The Jewish court is in charge to calculate the amount which the guilty party has to pay in accordance with the laws set out. This next part is laws pertaining to judges, defendants, and witnesses. It is forbidden for a judge to hear the arguments of one side if the other party is absent. Both must be present. Another point is the Jewish court cannot accept testimony from an evil person. Our sages list people who are unfit to act as a witness. Another point is the final verdict is pronounced according to the majority vote of the judges. Another factor is, in order to ensure the vote should not be split into 2 equal fractions, the number of judges appointed to the Jewish court have to always be an odd number. The final factor is a judge is not allowed to base his opinion on that of a greater judge or a majority of judges, reasoning with himself, for sure they're right automatically. It is demanded of every judge that he clarify the case in his own mind and decide truthfully, even if his conclusion should be the opposite of the majority view, because ultimately, no matter what happens, God is the true judge, and the truth comes out and prevails for all who hold dear to him. Just remember, the key to success in your life is first believing in yourself. See you in the next one.